Hello, everyone. Welcome to this podcast episode where I want to share some encouragement for those of you who find yourself a little bit lost, for lack of a better word, a little bit lost on this journey, who feel like it's difficult to see past this point, and who are still struggling to truly tap into the wisdom and the deeper meaning of why everything had to unfold the way it has. I have no idea what's gonna come out. But I just had this very strong impulsive need to just start recording because I know that we have come to a point of to a turning point where things are starting to drastically shift for our collective in terms of how we've been approaching this journey, in terms of how we have been looking at things and the energy as well, the energy that we have embodied so far, the role that we have chose to take all throughout this journey. Anyway, so I know these are just very general explanations, but I want to make it as concrete and as easy as possible. Okay, so yesterday I was walking in the park, and there was this couple sitting on a bench. There was nothing necessarily like particularly on the surface level particularly significant about them. They weren't even like displaying any signs of like love or affection or romance. However, they had these like very mysterious demeanor about them, like very smart, very intelligent, just a little bit like unique, if that makes sense. And as I was approaching them, as I passed along them, I instantly got completely overwhelmed with emotion. I started tearing up because of the aura that they were exuding, because of the aura that they were expanding, transmitting, just by sitting there. They were just having like lunch or a snack, I don't know, and they were not even talking, but there was something about their energy where it was just obvious. That's the best word that I can find for this. It was just obvious. And that kind of energy shifted my entire day, shifted my entire like rainy, moody day, and it just carried me through for hours. And these are the kind of subtle energetic signals that these people are on a higher purpose. I know on this channel we talk a lot about Starseed mission, shared mission, divine counterparts, purpose, new earth purpose, changing the world, blah blah blah. Although that is definitely the case, there is a much higher purpose that is just you being in your original divine blueprint. Okay, I just lost my voice for a second. And just you being in that energy, I don't care what you're doing. If it's sitting on a bench in the park and just being there, or if you're somehow having an online presence, or if you are emitting this energy in a way that just feels right to you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how this expression is coming out, or how this energy that you are broadcasting out into the world, how this is, how is your preference. It really doesn't matter. But I want you to start paying attention to ways in which people may interact with you or may react to your frequency. I know not everyone will do it in a positive way, right? Sometimes we can, really depending on the frequency bandwidth that you're on, it's definitely important to discern as well, like where do we want to expand our energy, where do we want to share our light, where do we want to, we got to do it with discernment, obviously. But the reason why I wanted to share this mini event was to emphasize the power of your beingness, your presence, your frequency, okay? Obviously, yes, the more you share it with the world, the more you reach a larger audience, the more you do it through something that is creative, that makes you passionate, that energy just magnifies and just magnetizes the people that most need it, which is a lot of people. This freaking planet really needs that. I mean, if you're a light worker and you're just sitting there like, oh, I don't have anything to offer to the world, like, really? Really? I would give it a second thought. So see, all these limiting beliefs, limiting nonsense that come from your human perspective are really blurring your path, which is really there to show you that, how far you've come. First of all, that was the other thing that I wanted to share today, because looking back at this journey from whenever it started for you, and for those of you who are new to this channel, this is about the journey of ascension, the journey of spiritual awakening, the journey of going to higher, embodying a higher version of who you really are, and being more of that out into the world, and how this is basically your purpose and why you came here. And all throughout this journey of peeling back those layers of programming, of nonsense, of just imprinting from early childhood, from past lives, and so on. As you go through this journey of undoing and unlearning, what happens, just the side effect of that, you start becoming more alive and you just start enjoying life more. And all of a sudden, life is not as dreary, as gloomy as it used to be, because you have your light back, because you have your gifts back, because you start feeling safe being who you really are. Whereas in the past, you were just constantly having to tone that down, to dim your light, to dim your expression, to dim your power as well, for a lot of you. So this new chapter is drastically different, because you are free. You have always been free. It's just that it wasn't safe for you to show yourself in that way. We had to wait for this planetary evolution as well, for the frequency of the planet to be stable enough for us to start doing this work consistently, and for the world to be ready as well. So whatever the wisdom that you have gained all throughout this journey, whatever the unique signature of your purpose, of your mission that may be, I want you to really, really start valuing that and tap into the richness of what this journey has taught you versus focusing on the things that haven't worked from an ego perspective, right? If this is something that you were very attached to in terms of how things were supposed to work, and God definitely had different plans, is the lesson in there was to operate from your higher mind versus from your ego tiny little human brain. And this is essentially what this journey has been all about, truly. Because when you are connected to a higher web of intelligence, of consciousness, that's when you operate just very differently. It's no longer the ego that is running the show. It's no longer the wounded parts of you that are resisting this journey, but it's truly what is of the highest good, what is being orchestrated for you. It's a much larger plan. You're part of a web of souls. I think that, or at least for me, this has been some of the most encouraging thoughts that really carried me through this journey, was to know that eventually this is going to be a part of my reality, is meeting these souls, meeting these people with whom I can just exchange this knowledge and ideas and learn from and collaborate, and to then teach others. And it's just what it has always felt natural, but it wasn't time yet. I wasn't fully embodying that vessel that was able to carry this mission at this level. So for many of us, has been a very humbling experience, because you see, we may have started this journey boxing it in, meaning, okay, so our purpose has to look this way, or this is the person that I'm meant to be with, or that I'm meant to collaborate with, or we have copy pasted basically a frequency on something that seemed that felt similar, and then we remain so attached to it that we really had to learn how to let that part of us literally like die. The part of us that was so attached to a narrative that this is how things were supposed to be, truly had to be had to go through an ego death. Okay, we had to see, like, God really put us through this journey where we had to be confronted with our own smallness. Before you tap into your greatness, you have to become aware of your smallness. Before assuming that you know anything, you must first assume that you don't know anything. Yeah. So this is what this journey has really forced us into acknowledging, is that without the universe, without God, without its participation, we are creating more of what it already is. We are creating more of codependency. We are creating more of separation. We are creating more of control. We are creating more of the old. Okay, even though it felt like in a shinier box, it still was part of the old. It still was the old frequency, the old earth, right? We just painted it in a shinier color and pretended it was the new world. But this is what we're talking about, is true paradigm shift. It's not just new box, it's the whole paradigm of boxes that had to be dismantled. And when you operate at this higher level, you truly see things very, very differently. So after the twin flame journey, for those of you who have gone through a twin flame journey, when you realize that, oh my God, like the person that I was very, very strongly attached to was just not, may have had similar traits of the thing that I wanted, or the person that I have always felt connected to on a higher level. However, there were so many other elements that my human self did not see beyond the veil, beyond the projection, beyond the rose-colored glasses. And please apply this to your own situation. If that was with regards to your purpose, right? A lot of you may have tried to do things in a way that is conventional, but then you are supposed to do things that are outside of the norm. So you were trying to fit your purpose into a box, whereas it's just not meant to. And past this journey, whenever it was time for you to master this lesson, okay, I honestly do not resonate with the traditional like twin flame nonsense out there, which says, oh, you detach and everything is gonna be perfect. Like, how can you detach? How can you detach from someone you truly care about, or for something you truly care about? For me, it was just acknowledging that this is my path, this is the frequency that I know I'm meant to embody, this is the frequency that I know that the person I'm connected with has. And then I just had to realize that, wait a minute, this is just maybe not it. I had to admit to myself that I was wrong. And by doing that, you get to a point where you become much more sober, and where you start looking at things more accurately, and where your intuition really starts getting very, very sharp. It's no longer wishful thinking, it's truth. It's more aligned with the truth. And after this twin flame journey, here comes the soulmate journey, the 5D soulmate journey, which really teaches you, like, it's almost like a master class, a very intense one, but a master class where you are kind of tested, I want to say, with whether you learned these lessons or not. Or at least that's how it felt for me. It's like it's like exam period, right? You have learned for 3 years or 4 years, and then you graduate or you don't graduate. And so the graduation really comes in the practicing of whether you still feel tempted to box that person into that ideal, or if you're able to maintain this frequency of, this is an individual, it's obviously an important soul connection, okay, but then you treat them as what they are in their life versus who you want them to be. And the unconditional love part of it is where you realize that if this person is not meant to be my life partner, it's not meant to be in my life in that particular context, then that's not going to prevent me from truly and fully opening my heart to this experience and to just love an individual for what and who they are in my life. And this is the new kind of soul connections, and these are the new kind of experiences that we're meant to have in the 5D, where obviously we're talking outside of like boundaries, stepping, abuse, all of that nonsense. This is completely outside of that conversation, but in a way where you mutually respect each other. If there's mutual respect, if there's a foundation, a strong foundation of friendship, a strong foundation of mutual understanding, there is equal participation, equal give and take, right? It comes with less expectation of what the other person should be, if that makes sense. Some of us are still in the midst of this lesson. Others are, we're all in different stages, but I truly believe that your true life partner is going to materialize into your life once you mastered this lesson. Because it's really helping you see other people from a raw, from a much I want to say pure, from a pure light, in a pure light, in a pure light. No ego agendas, no control, and obviously that's easier said than done, right? We want usually connections, we want safety, we want the safety of belonging, we want to feel like we are part of someone's life and that we're meaningful, and that, you know, the whole bonding experience, it's just very delicate for us, especially for us advanced soul, for highly sensitive souls, for starseeds, because we haven't had that. We haven't had that in the old earth. It was pure drama, pure trauma, pure betrayal, pure narcissistic abuse, all of that nonsense, right? And so now we are coming together in this context of like soul family, soul connections. And so what is important to understand is to open yourself up to the to this new dimension in a way that is less from a mind-controlled or mental limited perspective. 5D is in the heart. That's where you have the answers. That's when you know or don't know, but you still go with it. That's when you know. And when if the mind starts getting in the way, then you know it's time to drop deeper into the heart. What I want to end this episode with is that whatever your vision of the new earth, whatever your vision of your highest timeline, your higher frequency of your destiny is, this is exactly what you're meant to experience, truly. And the day, like, there is a day where it's just going to freaking click. Like, you truly are going to be in that energy of knowing, like deeply anchored in that truth, which is happening very, very soon for a lot of us, and where you don't have to guess, you don't have to question if this is right for you, or if this is the person, or if this is the purpose, or if this is just is. But in order to get there, you gotta go with the flow. You gotta, stop questioning, and really trust. We are going to be a little bit tested with regards to our old ways of doing, of thinking, of resisting, of sabotaging, of not allowing, basically, and thinking that we can do better than the universe, thinking that our ego minds, by controlling everything, that we can do better, that we can do its job better. That is very arrogant. That is very arrogant of us, right? But if you tap into your heart, if you tap into your soul, if you tap into the truth, why you're here, I just saw 555, which is like turning point. That's how I started this episode. And also, this is like coming full circle. I really want this episode to be like a coming full circle of like wrapping up this journey that has been very, like, just very difficult for a lot of us, and understanding that it's no longer meant. It's like, if you're still in an energy of suffering, of like mental or emotional turmoil, like, it's past its expiration point. Like, we're truly meant to witness the miracles, just witness a whole new higher state of being, a whole new higher state of mind. And this isn't to suppress if you're still feeling the weight of this journey, if you're still feeling the effects, the side effects. Just give yourself as much time as you need to recover. However, it's just an internal knowing that things have shifted. Things are really about to look very, very different, and they are really just really going to start confirming to you what you have always known. All right, dear ones, I hope this message reached whoever needed the most today. I hope you're having a great Sunday, or whenever you happen to watch this episode. Let me know in the comments below if you want to share anything about your journey. I love to hear from you. And with that, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.